Hi everybody, this is Valentina and I'm very happy you clicked on my video. I'm here in my rainforest and I need to move a few plants before the video becomes too crowded. Okay, as promised to you so many times in my previous videos, I'm going to talk to you about the Anthurium Clarinervium because now I got a bit of experience around it. I've had them for quite some time and I would love to share with you my experience and a few things that I got to know about these incredible plants here in the background. So I'll introduce them to you. They are two plants. Here, two separate plants, and I'll tell you why I have two plants and not only one. I'll get there towards the end of the video when we are going to talk about the propagation, because that's a really interesting topic to talk about, especially for these anthuriums. Well, for every plant, but especially for the anthuriums, I'm in love with the propagation of these plants. I'll get the help of the nicely soiled cards. So firstly, they remind us to talk about the plant. The plant is not a very common plant. It is becoming a quite popular houseplant, especially on Instagram. It's very photographed and shared. But it's not a common houseplant for sure. They have these very beautiful heart-shaped leaves and the flowers are very uncommon. These. Both of them are in bloom. The other one, I'll show you the bloom. This is a flower that basically can be removed because it's not fertile anymore. It died, it didn't get the pollination. So we may as well remove this. But the other one that I'm going to show you is a flower that has been pollinated somehow, and I'll tell you about it. So yeah, wait until the end to see how it is a bloom with the seeds as well. It is a plant that originates from Mexico, therefore it wants a warm weather. It is a plant that belongs to the family of Araceae. It's an Aroid. It has the typical shape of an Aroid. And we talked about everything. Next thing, difficulty. So the maximum difficulty I assign to plants is 5 stars and 1 is the least. I would say that this has never given me a huge amount of trouble. It's a quite easy plant to take care of. Of course, you cannot really badly mistreat it because it's still somehow a bit delicate, but the maintenance is not very high. I water it, I am not sure how often because I stick my finger in the soil. Approximately I would say every 2 weeks, maybe a bit less, 10 days. More or less, but I don't use the number of days as a method of understanding how much water they need. I go by the soil, like how dry it is, how wet it is, and I'll talk to you about watering in a second. Sunlight. It doesn't need a tremendous amount of sunlight to survive and to thrive, yet I like to give it sunlight. Indirect, of course, not direct. I never put them under the sun. I really never did it and I'm not planning to do it. And I place them, one usually stays up there in that small, you see, this tiny box here, it's up there, and the other one stays on the other side. So this gets a little bit of less sunlight, and this a bit more. Let me see if I can show it here. So it has light. Lovely. So next topic, water. It's slightly delicate because it doesn't want to be overwatered. I researched quite a bit. The general recommendation was not to keep her always in a moist soil. I let it dry about, they recommend a few inches, but I stick my finger. If I see that the top part is still dry, but underneath, more or less like this, is still humid, then I water. And I like to water it with either rainwater, if possible. It's not that easy to get, but I filter if I don't get it. Or also even better would be distilled water, because it doesn't have all those particles that would actually harm the plant. Right now mine are both moist because I watered them something like 2-3 days ago, so I'm going to wait until I see that they need a bit more water. As well as humidity, it doesn't require that much amount of humidity. It just doesn't. I thought it would. I thought I had to give it like an extremely high amount of humidity, but I see that even far from the humidifier, even far from a very humid environment, they just don't suffer. And that's a great thing, really, really great. I think it is due to the very, very thick leaves, because they are very thick, so they can retain humidity quite well. Still, I sometimes spray them with my regular sprayer that I've showed you in many videos, but this is this one. The sprayer is filled with filtered water. Why? Because of calcium. Because you see these spots here, you know, they look like kind of these ones. It's not like a problem of the plant, is because in the nursery where I bought it, they have given it basically tap water because it's faster. They cannot like give to every plant filtered water. I haven't cleaned it. It's not very easy to clean. I don't want to damage the leaf. So yeah, that's about water. Regarding soil, the drawing of the pot is not that pretty, but I'll try to improve my drawing skills in the future, so maybe I can change this card. Regarding soil, I kept it in this soil here that was given to me from the nursery, and I see that they are doing quite well. If you want another opinion about soil from an expert, Kaylee Ellen is definitely an expert of Aroids, so I recommend you check out her video, this one, in this box. And I'll write down below in the info box also all the links that I think are useful, so don't forget to check that out. Yep, she recommends a mixture that is very, very, very well draining, like with orchid bark, warm castor to give the plant a bit of nutrition, and I forgot all the ingredients, but I think that if I have to repot them, I will probably make one of her mixes, since she is the expert. Oh, I was forgetting. She also puts them in lacquer, which is the expanded clay. I haven't tried that yet. I tried with other plants. I'm still experimenting, so I don't want to give you any recommendations on that because I'm still experimenting. I don't want to tell you something that I don't know, that I haven't experimented and that I haven't tested yet. So she puts them mostly on lechuza pots, but before I give you my recommendation, my honest recommendations, I do not want to tell you anything that I don't believe in, basically. Then, finally, the most interesting part of the video, and I don't know, to me it is the most important part, is propagation. Propagation, how do you propagate this plant? There are many ways to propagate it, either by, I guess, division as well, but mainly from cuttings and from seed. And this is what I was talking to you about at the beginning of the video. So why did I buy two plants? Well, firstly, I bought this plant here, this one, and it's been doing really well, except for this leaf. I don't know, it's growing a bit weird. I don't know if I should cut it. I have honestly no idea what is wrong with this leaf. No idea, but the others are super healthy, so I may as well cut it. It's the tallest, so I don't know, the plant is going to grow, but I don't know, this doesn't really convince me, so may as well cut it. Never mind. So I bought this one, which is putting out so many flowers, one after the other. And one after the other has a reason, never two together. Because the pollination process and nature wants that different plants of anthuriums mix together and give birth to other plants that are not exactly the same of the mother plant. That's why the same plant is extremely difficult to have self-pollinating, because the flower is only one at a time and needs to be pollinated. The pollination process works this way, basically. So basically you have at the beginning a flower like this, that is much cuter though, because this is yellow, it's gone, that I also showed you on my Instagram profile. Go and check it out. It basically has some white, like transparent sticky liquid to have the pollen of other flowers stick to this flower. Once it becomes mature, if it hasn't been pollinated yet, then it will release its pollen in order to be able to pollinate another flower that is at that time sticky, because when the pollen of this thing is ready, the pollen, it's not sticky anymore. So you know what I mean? I mean, it needs an old flower in order to be able to pollinate a young flower, if that makes sense to you. I'll put in the info box an article, if I'm able to find it, where the pollination process is explained very well. So that's where I learned it from. So this is the end of the story for this plant. It was not giving me any kids. Then I went for a walk at the nursery and I found the second Anthurium. Knowing about the pollination process of the first Anthurium, I said, oh, I should buy another Anthurium. But it's not too easy to find them. At that nursery, I found a few, and this was the last one, the second time I went there. So I found this Anthurium, and I found something very interesting on it. This flower here, and this is a mature flower with kind of almost mature seeds. Let's see if the camera can, but you can see them. So at the beginning, these, I'll try to turn them so you can see them better, but I have to be super delicate. So at the beginning, these are all green, and it means that they are not ready yet, as many other seeds. So when you see a seed that is green, it means that it still needs time to mature. So keep it on the plant and give it all the time to mature. Then at some point these things will mature even further, and I'll keep you updated on Instagram. And basically these will come out, and I will be able to hopefully propagate this plant by seed. Of course, I'm going to keep you updated. Sorry that I haven't been posting much lately. I was really tremendously busy, but I promise to you that when I do this thing of the pollination, I will keep you updated because it's a very interesting process for me. So, next up, you see these, and I'm being very careful here. From here, from the root, when the root becomes like a sort of part of the stem, you can remove it. I'm pretty sure it will work because it has worked for me for another type of Anthurium, this one. I took a part, not only the leaf, but also a bit like the thicker part, not the stem only, because if you cut it here, it will not work. But I got it from, basically from the base of the very thick stem of the plant, keeping like the offset of this bunch of leaves. And it has rooted really a lot. So, you see. These are all the new roots. It took me about perhaps something like 3 weeks more or less to have these roots so big, but after a few weeks you will already see the results, and they are pretty healthy as a thing. Now, I don't know, it became a little bit more floppy, this one, but I can't complain. So I can't see any reason why also this plant would not be propagated with the same method. They are both Anthuriums. I will shortly try it and maybe put that in my shop. I don't know if I told you about it, but I'm planning to, I'm really planning to have a sort of limited edition shop. My idea for the Nicely Soiled shop is to buy some plants and make a video. Whoever wants them can request them. They are going to be like a super limited edition plants because I can't buy too many. They're going to be at most from 1 to 3, I would think, and then I will sell them to whoever is interested. I think I told you mostly everything. So overall, as a brief summary, if you want to take care of them, they are not really difficult plants at all. Absolutely not. I would give them 3 stars out of 5. Medium difficulty, like 2 or 3 stars. 2.5 stars. And keeping in mind that it's a plant that originates from Mexico, it needs warm temperatures and a decent degree of humidity, and quite well draining soil in order not to exceed with watering. What else? Yeah, I think that is it. In winter, if it's cold in your winter, don't put it outside, and also don't put it under direct sunlight, because being used to staying under the trees, then it will not appreciate direct sunlight. Guys, I forgot to talk to you about toxicity. This is Valentina from the future. So this plant is supposed to be highly toxic for pets, most of pets, but I know of a girl who was unfortunate and her pet, her rabbit, chewed it, and apparently he's fine. My cats never tried to eat it, so I can't say thankfully. And they are high up, one, and the other one is up there. Well, I hope you will be subscribing to my channel, and I hope you like this video and give it a like. Click the bell button to receive all the notifications, and I hope you will be sharing this video with as many friends as possible that love plants as much as you do. I wish you a very nice day, and have fun with your Anthurium. If you haven't bought it, buy one, because it's an incredibly beautiful plant. Ciao!